Welcome to the new YouTube channel. If you haven't already done it, hit the subscribe button to follow us all season long for updates and content. So happy that you're here. It's going to be a great year. I know you want to talk about your boys, Mitchell. I know that's why you're quiet, because you got so much to say about those Honolulu Blue wearing Detroit Lions, because it was rocking out there at Ford Field. Mitchell, tell me about it.
Richard, I was there, fired up as could be. And I tell you what, you go into that stadium, Sunday Night Football, a lot of fun, right? I mean, the city's lively. We saw it with the draft. Detroit knows how to show up. That stadium was a buzz, Richard, from the moment you get in there an hour before the game. And let's not forget the story here. Jared Goff, the cast-off from the LA Rams, sent to Detroit, the lowly Detroit Lions, for Matthew Stafford. And this is Matthew Stafford's second homecoming, if you will. And he was met with some cheers, Rich. I mean, the fans gave him some love as he ran out. But as soon as that game started, it was just like the playoffs. And Richard, you look at this team, they battled all game. It wasn't pretty. You know, I think the Lions probably played C-plus football on the day. They had their mistakes. You know, Goff threw an interception. The defense had a couple breakdowns. They gave up a 17-3 lead. But what showed me about this team is when I thought they were down and out, they came back. And there's a stigma here in Detroit called the same old Lions. The same old Lions would always find a way to lose a game they should have won. Well, this is a brand new Lions, and this is what we've been talking about since last year. This team is now finding ways to win a game they should have otherwise lost. I mean, Richard, they were down and out. Let's face reality. And all of a sudden, they got a 3-and-out from Matthew Stafford. They went down the field. They got a rookie kicker in Jake Bates that delivers a clutch kick, albeit short, still clutch kick for him. And then they go and pound the rock 7 consecutive plays. I think they had one passing play on that overtime possession, Richard. That is when a team shows you, hey, this is our strength. Our O-line's number one in football, and we got an absolute workhorse behind them in David Montgomery. We're just going to give you the football and show you that our team is stronger than yours. And Richard, that's what they did. I'm really excited to hear your thoughts on the Lions, because while it wasn't a pretty win, it was a gritty win, and that's the way Detroit plays football.
Mitchell, it was a gritty win. It seemed like it was almost symbolic of the city of Detroit. Hey, people think a certain way of you. You got beat up a little bit early, got, down and out. But the Detroit City, Mitchell, the Music City, Mitchell, they're going to make it happen. And they did. This is a beautiful team. They have a beautiful culture. You got the young guys, homegrown talent that are making it happen. Aiden Hutchinson with a sack, 4 quarterback hits. Brian Branch, who's a second-year player, had 3 pass defenses. That secondary looked much better, even though Matthew Stafford had 317 yards. He's a big yardage quarterback. He's gonna get his yards no matter what. But Jamison Williams, who you called, Mitchell, you called that. Jamison Williams. They have a lot of belief in this kid, and you keep hearing all his praises. Oh, he's gonna do this. He's gonna do this. He's doing it. 5 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown. He looked incredible out there. And then you get to the last drive. Hey, overtime. We're taking the ball. We're gonna march it down. Really old school style, right behind our right side of our O-line. We'll get some to the left, but right behind Panay Sewell and that right side of O-line, we paid him. This is our guy. We believe in him, and we're going to trust him. And David Montgomery continued to just punish the defense, punishing run after punishing run. They gave him a slight break in there to get Jahmyr Gibbs a touch, but at the end of the day, he wasn't coming up very often. He wanted this drive on his shoulders, and he took it, and he led this team down. It looked like such a confident and strong. That's why they're contenders, Mitchell. That's why they deserve the respect, because they walked the ball down versus a very competitive Rams team, a Rams team that was in the playoffs playing this team last year. So this isn't just some slouch of a team. This team is a team that expects to compete again for playoff contention, and they really just said, hey, we're going to impose our will and let you guys know you're at our stadium, in our house, and we're not having it. We're walking away with a dub. Get back on your plane. Go back to L.A. See you later.
And see you later, Matthew Stafford. As much as we love you here in Detroit, it's got to feel pretty rough knowing that you've lost twice to your former team in the last, what, 6 months, Richard? 7 months? I
Yeah.
mean, that's demoralizing, right? Richard, what I get fired up about the Lions is their offense was supposed to be spectacular. You add another piece in Jamison Williams. You get the development of Sam Laporta. You get the maturity of Jahmyr Gibbs. Then you just keep this molding and meshing of this offensive line. I didn't see so many offensive lineman jerseys in the crowd, Rich. I mean, there was like a Panay Sewell every fifth jersey I saw. It's insane how much the city loves this O-line. But what they need to help with is what you pointed out, the secondary. And they also just needed to add a little bit more depth on that D-line. They went out this offseason and they've got DJ Reader, who did not play. But one of the biggest names that I think a lot of folks should be aware of coming out is number 91, Levi Awuzarike, the defensive tackle out of UW, Richard. He's been injured for 3 years, and he came back, and Dan Campbell says this guy is going to be a bona fide star here this year. Richard, he had a sack against Matthew Stafford. If the Detroit Lions can add DJ Reader and another piece on that D-line, I mean, now all of a sudden we got a defense that could be, again, what I called top 10 in this league. Richard, I'm excited. I think this team can go on a run right away. I know you like the Buccaneers, and they are a tough team, but I just love the Lions at home next week. I can't see a situation that they lose that game. Vegas has got them as a touchdown favorite already. Richard, taking a week 1 dub feels a hell of a lot better than taking an L. I will leave you with that.
No question, no question. And this is without a great game from your star receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Not because he wasn't great, but because it was Jameson Williams' day. And now people are going to have to game plan for Jameson Williams. They're game planning for Amon-Ra, doing everything they can stop Amon-Ra St. Brown in the tight end. But you're not accounting for Jameson Williams. Now you're going to look at the film and say, man, we got to make sure we know where number 9 is at all times. And that's going to open things up for Amon-Ra St. Brown to have more success. But I guarantee you, Mitchell, I know you feel very confident about this game against Tampa, but they looked really good. Baker looks like he found his home. That Todd Bowles defense is very hectic. They create a lot of chaos. Levante David looked like he had a really good game. Joe Shoyinka had a really good game. They're putting a lot of pressure on quarterbacks. They're doing a lot of great things defensively. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, those guys are putting on a show as they always have. But you're right. Your Honolulu Blue Boys look like a dominant force and look like they can win these games in whatever way they need to. It can be a big, high-scoring, pretty game. It can be an ugly, grinded-out, gritty game. It can be a defensive matchup. It could be a shootout. Whatever they want to do, it seems like they're going to have to do it in the Honolulu Blue. If they want to get a clue, Mitchell, I'm going to make a rhyme out of that at some point.
I need that. I need that. Before you come to Detroit for that Green Bay Packers Thursday night football game, I'm going to need a wrap on this, Richard.